closer with Nivea, the nation's favourite skincare.
Slightly shorter show today because of the live budget. I just thought then, 15 minutes less on the show, 15 minutes less cash for the crew. So before he stands up, you're out of pocket.
Oh, you see?
Yeah.
You see? We've had our own cuts today.
Unbelievable. As they say, it's quality, not quantity, that counts. And what a show we've got in store. Let the people see you have to worry about it.
Also on the show, after news that 500,000 faulty appliances are being recalled by the manufacturer after incidents of some bursting into flames, Alice Beer is here with her guide to knowing your rights and protecting your home.
From protecting your home to taking over your home. Today we meet the woman whose family are forced to sleep in one room, all of them. Yes, she believes that women should take the blame, as they need to make their husbands feel loved to stop them from straying.
We're above inflation, so good news for Beer?
Well, I'm always let's be careful about good news and bad news, because good news on budget day is always taken to be the government giving out money. But actually, if it's going to give out money, it's got to receive money from taxpayers in the first place. So good news is a slightly dubious term. But budget day is a nightmare for the journalists who sit up in the press gallery, of whom I'm one, because the reason we became journalists, we were bad at maths. And we then had to understand all this math, and the MPs are pretty much the same. Very few of them are natural accountants. And so there is this welter.
That's not worrying.
There is this welter of statistics, which only people like Brooke understand. And the rest of us are completely gaunt. But we've got our mathematician.
Well, DNA in maths.
Usually, well done.
I know, we are equal.
What I'm trying to say there is just this welter of propaganda, and it's very difficult to fight out.
First of all, we don't know very much. We are speculating, because unlike the last budget, which appears to have just leaked out, we knew what was going to happen, there's less information on this one.
Yes, there is, because...
is that a worrying thing?
Well, there may be two things there. He may be very crafty, or he may have nothing to announce. So,
I don't think there's going to be many great surprises with this one. I mean, they're speculating 2.5 billion of cuts. A couple of nice things to sweeten us up. It's a tough job, I don't envy him, but I think what people want to know is always, okay, this saving, where is it going to go in the future? We need a bit of hope, a bit of confidence, because there's only so long you can blame the previous government as well. So it is his fourth budget, so, fingers crossed there's some good news. I don't expect
Arguably what we need is a really radical reduction in the size of the state and masses of taxes to be cut, but you can't get that with a coalition government, because the Liberal Democrats want one thing, the Conservatives want another. So we're stuck. Our government is stuck in the middle, and it can't do anything particularly radical.
Well, a campaign group has reacted angrily to the news that stay-at-home mums will not get up to £1,200 to help with childcare because working mums have a greater need, it's said. Speaking on a visit to a nursery in Wandsworth in South London, the Prime Minister said for many families the cost of childcare is not one issue among many, it is the issue. It really matters. We want to help people who work hard and want to get on, and so effectively this is some tax relief on childcare.
Yes, there's going to be childcare tax relief for people where both parents are working. But for the stay-at-home parents, no beans. So it's a very difficult balance. There seem to be 2 million not benefiting and 2.5 million benefiting. So that's the sort of calculation.
They thought this was going to be their more positive announcement, and a lot of negative reactions. And just to break it down, I've got a lot of friends that do say they'd love to go back to work, but the cost of childcare far outweighs it, that they just can't. And to break it down, it is unfair that it seems that you can have two working mums and dads that can jointly earn up to £300,000 and still get £1,200 help. But if you've got a dad that goes off to work and only earns £20,000, £30,000, £40,000, you don't get a penny. But then there are some that I suppose would argue, but if you choose to stay at home as a mum, do you need childcare benefits?
I think that's the key issue with this, is that it's not stay at home versus the mum that goes to work. I don't think that's what it is at all. This is, if you would like to go to work, then here is something that is going to help you. And so I just think that you kind of need to bear that in mind slightly.
The pressure groups are making the point that people who stay at home to look after their children are doing society good. I think there's a strong argument there, but at the same time, as Brooke says, perhaps you're not incurring such costs if you're staying at home.
And then there are those that say that their children should be entitled to go to nursery, you know, to develop and for educational purposes. Tough one.
Coronation Street star William Roach has apologised after he appeared to suggest sex abuse victims are paying the price for their behaviour in previous lives. We discussed this yesterday at great length on the programme, and the NSPCC has said his original bizarre comments were not helpful. He apologised yesterday, and this is what he said.
I apologise for any offence that's been caused by any comments that I've made, but I would never say that victims of sexual offences are responsible for the abuse that they've suffered, and I apologise most profusely if I've been misunderstood in this way.
Well, an ITV spokesman said these were personal comments that Bill made, for which he has apologised.
Yes, he seems to have a view. He seems to have a view of the afterlife, and it seems to be going into ideas of reincarnation. Now, we shouldn't necessarily expect our soap actors to be leading theologians, and I think that's really what's happened here. He's got some views of his own, which may not be mainstream.
He's not the first to voice views that were not mainstream.
Glenn Hoddle, football manager, got into terrible trouble, something similar to this. But you know, he's got his own personal views, and I think it's a bit hard. We treat him like the Archbishop of Canterbury. He's not on that level. We shouldn't expect him to be.
So you're saying go easy on him?
I think so.
On that. That's why Viking is here. At the click of a mouse or on the phone. Order before 6.
When it's time to sell your car, why go anywhere else?
I think it's time I knew exactly what's going on.
Well, we left Hyde Park at about 8:30, and then we stopped somewhere in Surrey for a cup of coffee. Oh, Alan, do you mean what happened? Oh, it's silly to bring it up after we've been married for 3 years. Let's forget about it. Make love to me.
Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, darling, you wouldn't want to be married to a woman of no experience whatever, would you? What would you do if I told you? You see? Don't even know. Well, you make up your mind what you do, and then I'll tell you. Make love to me.
All right, if you don't take the matter seriously.
Alan, what are you doing?
There's some work to do on the car.
At this hour? Oh, can't it wait? Alan!
What do you mean? What would you do if I told you? You see, you don't even know. Yeah. I had a hunch I'd find you here. Well, what do you want? Where's Rosalind? She's asleep. Well, what's so blasted funny about it? You are. Never mind, Ambrose, you still have Susie. Wendy turned in? Yes. Why? I just wondered. She seems a bit fed up with you, old boy. If I may say so. Well, don't worry about it. Oh, but I do. I mean, I was the one who brought you two together. I should hate to see anything going wrong. With your marriage, I mean. Just what do you mean by that? Well, sometimes, old boy, I have the feeling that you don't really appreciate Wendy. Oh, you do? Yes, I'm sure of it. Well, I'm sure of something else. We're getting awfully tired of you perpetually sticking your face into our affairs. You're always hanging around, soaking up all the drink in the house, bothering Wendy. Steady on. Wendy always seems glad to see me. Now, look here. If you're so keen on Wendy and you're always pointing out you knew before I did, why didn't you marry her when you had the chance? You know, I've often wondered about that myself. Frankly, I think the answer is that Wendy's improved a lot during the past 3 years. I can't think why, but there it is. You better clear out of here. Right now. We were just going. You know, I really came to ask if you'd like us to take Wendy back tomorrow. After all, this old croc's scarcely likely to make it. Don't be an ass. Do you really think that Spiker of yours? It wasn't the Spiker that got here after dinner. This is the better machine, and you bloody well know. Nonsense. Look, I'm bored with all this. Genevieve would leave you standing. I don't suppose you care to back that statement? I certainly would. Anytime. First one to London? We'd get kicked out of the club. Who'd know? All right. How much? Anything you like?